Have you ever wondered how a college football player goes from, well, basically a nobody to a first-round lock, and it feels like it happens overnight? Well, in this explainer, we're going to look at 5 prospects from the 2026 draft class whose stock is just soaring. And we're going beyond the hype to show you the actual data points that are making NFL scouts sit up and pay very, very close attention.
You know the type, right? Every single year. They're the players who start the season as a maybe. The guys buried deep in the mock drafts. They are totally under the radar. Tons of potential, sure, but not exactly a household name yet.
And then, bam, it happens. A couple of huge games, some stats that just pop off the page, and all of a sudden, they are all anyone can talk about. Their name just shoots up the draft boards, and that mid-round prospect? Yeah, he's starting to look like a first-round lock.
It really does feel like it happens overnight, doesn't it? But is it just hype? Is it totally random? Or is there actually a predictable pattern behind these incredible rises? That is the question we're digging into today.
Well, here's the secret. These jumps are almost never random. Not at all. They happen when a player's on-field performance finally starts to back up their raw physical talent in a way you can actually measure. The answer is right there in the numbers.
So let's start with a perfect example. Quarterback Allar. Now, this is a player who has always had the physical traits, but now he's developing that polish, the stuff that turns a prospect into a true franchise player.
For a long time, the book on Allar was pretty simple. Huge arm, but super raw. But that whole perception is shifting. The new reality? He's becoming an elite decision maker, and that is what has NFL teams really leaning in.
And here is the proof. You can see it right on this chart. That is a significant drop in his turnover-worthy play rate. And look, that's not just someone's opinion. It's a hard number that shows he's taking way better care of the football and making smarter choices when the pressure is on.
So here's why that matters so much. Having a cannon for an arm gets you noticed, for sure. But protecting the football and making smart throws, that gets you drafted high. Allar is proving he can do both. And that's why his stock is on a serious upward trend.
Okay, let's move on to the pass catchers. We've got 2 really fascinating prospects here. They're both rising up the boards, but for completely different, data-driven reasons. One is all about pure reliability. The other, dynamic versatility. First, we've got Tetairoa McMillan. Now, here is a receiver who has always looked the part, But now, his stats are consistently backing up what everybody saw in flashes. He's not just a highlight reel anymore. He is a production machine. And the key number for him is his yards per route run. I mean, for a college player, anything over 3.0 is considered elite, and he's cruising way above that. This stat, it measures pure efficiency. How much damage a receiver does every single time they run a pattern. It proves he's not just some deep threat. He is a consistent, down-after-down weapon. Now our second receiver, Luther Burden III. His value is a little different. It's all about how he's used. This guy is a total Swiss Army knife who lines up everywhere on the field and just creates chaos for defenses. And the proof is right here in this number. His average yards after catch is one of the best in the entire nation. What that means is when the ball gets into his hands, the play is just getting started. He turns these simple little catches into explosive gains. And that kind of playmaking is an absolute premium in the NFL. So here you can see the contrast laid out perfectly. If you're an NFL GM, what do you value more? Is it McMillan's elite, proven reliability backed up by his yards per route run, or is it Burden's game-breaking versatility proven by his yards after catch? 2 totally different skill sets, but both are leading them straight to the first round. All right, let's flip over to the other side of the ball. We've got 2 absolute game wreckers on defense who are making that leap from promising to dominant. And they're doing it by mastering 2 things, production and consistency. So you can see both of these guys are making these huge leaps. For Pearce Jr., it's all about learning how to finish the play, turning all those pressures into actual sacks. And for Mykel Williams, it's about learning how to impact every single down, not just the obvious passing situations. These are the kinds of steps that turn really good prospects into great ones. Now this chart, this shows you exactly why scouts are so fired up about Pearce. Getting pressure on the QB is good, yeah, but converting those pressures into sacks, that's what gets you drafted high. And he's doing that at a much, much higher rate now. The data shows he's not just bothering the quarterback anymore, he's finishing the play. And for Mykel Williams, the story is all about becoming a complete player. His run-stop rate has taken a huge jump, and what that proves is he's not just a pass rush specialist anymore.
He's a force against the run, which makes him a true every-down threat. So, to wrap up our defensive duo, Pearce is showing that elite closer instinct with his sack rate, while Williams is proving he's an every-down force with his improved run-stop rate. You've got the finisher and you've got the foundation, and both are showing the exact kind of measurable growth that gets scouts so excited.
Okay, so we've seen the data, we've seen the development, so where does this all go from here? What does this mean for these 5 guys as the 2026 draft gets closer and closer?
We've basically seen the pattern. It's a 3-step process, really. It all starts with a foundation of raw physical tools. Then, the performance data comes in and proves that real development is actually happening. And once you have that proof, the draft stock inevitably starts its climb. And that really is the ultimate takeaway here. Draft stock isn't just some static thing based on potential or hype. It's a dynamic market that responds to what you do on the field. It is earned week by week through proven, measurable improvement.
And this, of course, is the million-dollar question that makes the draft so fascinating, right? Have these guys just started a climb that's going to take them all the way to the top of the board? Or are we seeing them at their absolute peak right now?
That's what makes all this so fun to debate. So now it's your turn. Of the 5 players we just looked at, whose data impresses you the most? Is it Allar's decision-making, McMillan's reliability, maybe someone else? Let us know down in the comments which riser you are buying stock in.